Hi folks, it's Rich here. My Christmas t-shirt on. Forgot to see my brother. Bit hungover. Celebrated my being 50. Yes, last night with my friends back in Leamington Spa. I don't drink a lot these days. I'm not very good at it either. Anyway, it's video about guitars, isn't it? And what have I got here? Well, you can see from the title. So, just super quick, whilst I'm opening this box, I've always had a bit of a fantasy of having a white Strat, a white Telly, and a white Les Paul, all matching. I'd love all my guitars to be the same colour. How boring am I? And I've just decided to start that journey. Finally. It's not quite all white. You'll see on the other unboxings of the Squire Classic Vibe box is good, we like that. Squire Classic Vibe Telly and Strat. I like Classic Vibes, but I prefer them to the Player Series. They're a vintage white, which is potentially a bit pinky and see-through, we'll find out. But yeah, and as for Les Paul, obviously I've got the Mighty Mina hanging up here. She's a kind of a modern take on a Les Paul. She's not a true Les Paul, she's not an Epiphone or a Gibson either. And I thought about a used Gibson Studio, about £800-900. And then I thought, well, I don't know. And I was looking back at some of my old photos, and I used to have quite a couple of these customs. I had one before, it was a Custom Pro, which had the coil splits. Not that I think a Les Paul should have coil splits, really, there you go. And I thought, yeah, that was a lovely guitar, white, gold hardware, gold, it's all about the gold. And I saw this, so this isn't inspired by Gibson, I don't believe. The inspired by Gibson ones are about double the cost of what this was. This was $550, but it's got all the proper Les Paul goodness, isn't it? The four controls, 4 knobs for the volumes and your tones. So this isn't anything that you won't have seen before, but I am happy to have one back in the fold, and there it is. So obviously the light in this room is not very good, as you know. Mahogany body, mahogany neck. They don't have a maple cap under here, and I was watching Guitaristas Colin, and he was saying apparently when these came out in 1954, they didn't have maple on them, and they discontinued them for a while and brought them back out in 1968, and they did have a maple cap. So this is actually a bit more vintage correct. Cream binding with the 1, 2, 3 lines around there. ABR style bridge, Pro Booker 2 and 3, slim D taper neck. This is something that appeals to me as well. I do prefer a bit of a slimmer neck. One thing on Epiphones, it can be with any guitars really, but QCs on them haven't been all that good, but this seems okay. That switch doesn't feel very special. Colin here opened his up, and his was a inspired by Gibson one, and he said that looked like a Switchcraft switch, but it seems all right. It's an ebony board, which needs a little bit of a drink, but it's nice and dark, and the frets are polished as well, which is good. You would hope so, wouldn't you? Or no sharp frets. And Grover tuners, favourite tuners of all time. Grover looking tuners. It's quite weighty, but it's not ridiculously heavy. Recessed cavity plastic pockets, backs, which is a nice touch as well. And on first inspection, QC wise, everything seems okay. It's even set up. Playable actually, don't think I'm going to be doing anything to that. Yeah. So, you a Les Paul person? I'm not really, but if you're going to have one, have a nice one. So, that's why I decided to go for this. Got myself a new job, woohoo! That starts with January, but and I think with the other 2 guitars that I'm going to unbox, there might be 48 guitars this year, which is nuts, isn't it? Stupid. So let me know, do you like Les Pauls? Do you like the Custom? I know Carsten's got a white one like this. Do you think £550 is okay? I feel like it is in the modern world of guitars being stupidly priced. It's still a lot of money, of course it is, don't get me wrong, but for an Epiphone with some nice appointments, there we go. I'll do some playing videos another day for you. I'm sure you'll all know what these sound like anyway, but we'll have a proper play. For now, just a bit of an unboxing.